Members of the jury, that is the case for the Crown. Now, any criminal charge made in any English court of law must be proved to the satisfaction of the jury. If you fail to find the charge proved against the accused, you will acquit. It is only if you are satisfied that the prosecution do prove that charge that you will convict. Now, the case for the Crown is this, and nothing less: that Philip Shepherd murdered John Butlin on or about the 5th of May last, that the murder took place at Shepherd's home, that Shepherd subsequently cut the body of the dead man into pieces, that those parts of the body were then wrapped up by Shepherd, removed from his home by him, and dropped into the Irish Sea. I call Dr. Neville Sutherland.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Your full name is Neville Sutherland?
It is.
You are a registered medical practitioner and a consultant forensic pathologist?
I am.
Doctor, would you please tell his lordship and the court what qualifications you hold?
I am a doctor of medicine, a bachelor of surgery, fellow of the Royal College of Pathologists, and I hold diplomas in medical jurisprudence and pathology.
Did you, on the 25th of May last, perform a post-mortem on an unidentified headless torso at Fulchester Mortuary?
Yes, I did, and I carried out forensic tests on the clothing that was on the body and on the sacking and ropes.
Sacking?
Yes, my lord. The torso was found floating in the River Dee on the 24th of May, and when discovered, it was wrapped in sacking that was secured to the body by ropes.
Thank you, Mr. Edgar.
If we may deal with the torso firstly, Doctor, what were your findings?
My lord, these are my notes and the post-mortem report. May I refer to them, please?
Were they made at the time of the examination?
They were, my lord.
Very well.
Thank you, my lord. Now, the torso was that of a man. I estimate the age of the man as mid to late 40s. There were 3 stab wounds in the chest. Now, the partial decomposition of the body and subsequent forensic tests indicated the man had been dead approximately 3 weeks. It was apparent that the body had been dismembered by someone with very little, if any, medical knowledge. Cause of death was the 3 stab wounds, one of which had pierced the heart.
Thank you, Doctor. Now, with regard to the sacking and the ropes, you carried out forensic tests on these?
As I did.
And what conclusions did you reach?
That the body had not been thrown into the River Dee, where it was found, but had in fact been dropped into the open sea from an aeroplane.
Just a moment, Mr. Edgar. Dr. Sutherland.
Yes, my lord.
Do I understand you to say that although this torso was found in the River Dee... By the way, Mr. Edgar, whereabouts in the River Dee?
At Holywell, my lord.
Ah. Although the torso of this man was found at Holywell in the River Dee, you believe it was dropped from an aeroplane into the Irish Sea?
That is correct, my lord.
That would mean that the torso is floating upriver?
Yes, my lord.
Wouldn't the tide carry it out to sea again?
That would normally be the case, my lord. For example, a body dropped upriver in, say, the Thames would float 9 miles downstream on the ebb tide and 8.5 miles back up on the flood tide. Therefore, it would move half a mile towards the open sea on every complete tide until it eventually reached the open sea. There are, however, exceptions to this rule.
Evidently, we have one here. How do you explain it?
Undercurrents, my lord, occasionally move in directly the opposite direction to the direction of the tide. So as the tide is moving in one direction, a powerful undercurrent moving the other way is capable of carrying objects upriver. There have been a number of very well-documented incidents recently where radioactive waste matter has been dumped at the mouths of rivers in this country. Subsequent research has revealed radioactive waste matter had moved inland.
And you believe that happened to this torso?
I do, my lord. Which is the only explanation for the algae which I found on the sacking and on the body itself. It is a saltwater variety, commonly found in the Irish Sea, never in fresh water.
Ah. By algae, Dr. Sutherland is referring to seaweed and the like. Is that not so, Doctor?
Yes, my lord.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Most informative.
Doctor, why did you conclude that the torso had been dropped from a plane?
Apart from the 3 stab wounds, there were no external injuries on the body. Now, internally, however, there are a number of injuries which, in my experience, can be caused in only one way. I've conducted a number of post-mortems on airmen whose parachutes failed to open over the sea. Now, the internal injuries I found in this torso were identical with the injuries I had previously found in those airmen.
Thank you, Doctor. Now, on the 27th of May last, were you given a set of fingerprints by Detective Chief Inspector Rutherford?
Yes, I was. I carried out certain tests, and I was subsequently able to advise Chief Inspector Rutherford that the set of prints he had given me came from the hands of the dead man.
And did he then advise you of the identity of the dead man?
He did. He told me the body was that of John Butlin.
On the 29th of May last, did the Chief Inspector request you to carry out an examination at the home of the accused?
Yes, he did. I examined the first-floor flat at 42 Park Street, Fulchester.
The house is divided into two maisonettes, my lord. The accused lives on the first floor.
Oh, do you think plans of this flat would be of any use at this juncture, Mr. Edgar?
Yeah, I was about to introduce them, my lord.
Ah.
Could you, please?
Thank you so much.
Doctor, would you please tell the court what you found at the flat?
Yes, on the stairs inside the front door of the flat, and leading up to the flat itself, I found traces of blood on the linoleum. On the edge of a carpet in the living room, on the boards beneath the carpet, and underneath the boards, I found further traces of blood. With regard to the traces of blood on the carpet, an attempt had been made to remove these. The carpet had been cleaned and dyed after becoming blood-stained. All the bloodstains found were of the same blood group as that of the deceased man, John Butlin.
Dr. Sutherland, the accused blood group, does Shepherd share the same blood group?
No, my lord.
Mm-hmm.
On the same day, the 29th of May, did you also examine a two-seater light aircraft, a Cessna 150 at Howden Aerodrome?
I did.
And what, if anything, did you find?
I found traces of blood on the right-hand seat, the passenger seat. I also found traces of blood under the seat. Now, both traces were of the same blood group as John Butlin's.
Dr. Sutherland, thank you very much.
Dr. Sutherland, you described the condition of the torso when you first examined it as being partially decomposed.
That is correct.
What was the condition of the hands?
They were badly wrinkled. The torso had been in the water for the better part of 3 weeks.
The skin on the fingers was badly wrinkled.
Yes, it was.
Now, you have told the court that after carrying out certain tests, you were able to confirm that the fingerprints of the dead man matched a set previously given to you by Chief Inspector Rutherford.
Yes, that's right.
But if the skin on the fingers was badly wrinkled, Dr. Sutherland, how were you able to obtain a set of fingerprints from the dead man, from his hands?
I cut the wrinkled tubes of skin from the fingers. These were then placed upon the fingers of one of my assistants, thereby resulting in the skin stretching back to its original tension. We then fingerprinted the hands of my assistant and obtained a perfect set of prints.
Well, I must congratulate you on your ingenuity, Doctor.
I'm afraid I cannot take credit for the invention of this technique. It was perfected by Scotland Yard experts some years ago.
Now, while we are discussing fingerprints, I wonder if you could tell the court about any fingerprints of the dead man that you found in the home of the accused, Philip Shepherd.
I did not find any fingerprints belonging to the dead man at Shepherd's home.
None at all? I mean, not even one?
No, not one.
But if the dead man had entered the home of Philip Shepherd alive and well and subsequently after a struggle was killed in that, wouldn't you expect to find some of his fingerprints there?
I would. Of course, they might have been removed.
Indeed. They might equally have never been there.
That is so.
Yes, thank you, Doctor. Tell me, did you find any evidence that the sacking and ropes that were around the torso had come from the home of the accused?
No, none whatsoever.
None whatsoever.
That is correct.
Now, you have examined at some length and obviously in considerable detail the torso of John Butlin.
I have.
Now, were you able to arrive at any conclusions about the dead man, his weight, for instance?
I would estimate his weight at 14.5 stone. His height, 6 feet. He was a powerfully built man.
He was a powerfully built man, strong, would you say?
I would estimate his strength as above average. Apart from being slightly overweight, he was a very fit man in his late 40s.
You told the court, Doctor, when being examined by my learned colleague, that it was apparent to you that Butlin had been dismembered by an amateur. Someone, I quote, with very little, if any, medical knowledge. Now, what led you to that conclusion, Doctor?
Well, firstly, the nature of the implements used to cut off the head and legs. The condition of the severed extremities indicated that a hacksaw had been used and an ordinary knife, a carving knife, had been used. Secondly, where the cuts had been made. Must have taken considerable time. Whoever did it certainly didn't take the quickest route.
I suppose you have considerable experience, Doctor, of cutting up human bones.
Oh, yes, I've been doing it for over 20 years.
Is it a quiet process, sawing up human bones?
No, it is not. It produces a noise that drowns ordinary conversation. It is quite impossible to dictate to one's secretary while bodies are being sawn.
Dr. Sutherland.
My lord.
How long do you think it would take a person inexperienced in sawing human bones to saw through the thighs of a man, thus removing his legs, and then to cut off the same man's head?
Well, that's impossible to say, my lord. But we're certainly talking about something more than a few minutes' work.
Ah. Thank you, Doctor.
Now, Doctor, the Crown's case is that John Butlin was murdered by the accused man in that flat where you found those bloodstains. Now, Butlin was stabbed frontally in the chest, was he not?
Yes, he was, 3 times.
Well, would you expect such an attack to pass off very quietly without a struggle or noise?
No, I would not.
And apart from those 3 stab wounds on the chest, there were no other injuries of an external nature?
No.
No cuts on the arms?
No.
No cuts on the hands?
No.
Well, if, as the prosecution allege, Butlin was killed by Shepherd, and by Shepherd alone, after a fight, would you not expect to find such wounds?
I would.
Do you think it probable, Doctor, from your examination of the torso of John Butlin, that he was attacked by a single assailant, by one man?
I think that because of the absence of marks upon the body other than the 3 stab wounds, that the evidence renders it more likely that John Butlin was killed by more than one assailant.
Dr. Sutherland, you have been most helpful. I have no further questions.
Dr. Sutherland, I wish to make sure the court understands you correctly. Are you saying that, in your opinion, John Butlin could not have been killed by one person?
Certainly not. The evidence renders it more likely that more than one person was involved. But that does not rule out the possibility that he was killed, in fact, by a single assailant.
But you incline to the view that more than one person was involved?
I do.
And you incline to this view largely because of the absence of any cut wounds on the hands or arms or any external injuries upon the torso other than the 3 fatal stab wounds?
That is correct.
Do you believe that the evidence indicates that Butlin had his arms held behind his back by one or more people, whilst another one stabbed him in the chest?
Yes, my lord.
Uh-huh.
With respect, Doctor, that belief is surely based on a number of unsupported assumptions. That Butlin was conscious of the time he was stabbed, for example. He may very well have been knocked unconscious before being stabbed.
Indeed, he may have been. But in view of the fact that the head has yet to be found, may I suggest with respect that such a belief is an unsupported assumption?
Yeah, well, let us put an end to assumptions, Doctor, supported or otherwise. Let us take it from the position of a living, conscious John Butlin, not tied up or impeded in any way, a man well able to defend himself. Now, such a man would undoubtedly put up his hands to defend himself and would, in your view, have sustained cuts to his hands or arms.
That is so.
Yes. My lord, please, may I, with the aid of my colleague, demonstrate a point both to the doctor and the jury?
Oh, certainly, Mr. Edgar.
Thank you, my lord. Mr. Perkins. Now, Doctor, I want you to imagine that my colleague is John Butlin, alive and well and able to defend himself. So. Now, as long as I keep a strong left arm on him, there's not a great deal he can do in such a very short space of time, is there?
No, there isn't.
No. Thank you, Mr. Perkins. Thank you, Doctor. No further questions, my lord.
Well, thank you, Dr. Sutherland. I'm aware that you have an important post-mortem to perform, so as there are no further questions from learned counsel, you may leave the witness box.
Thank you, my lord.
Detective Chief Inspector Rutherford, was the deceased John Butlin known to you during his lifetime?
Yes, he was.
Were you aware that he had a criminal record?
I can answer that question, my lord, but I don't know whether or not I should do so.
Mr. Edgar, is this evidence germane to the issue?
Yes, my lord, it has a direct bearing on it.
Very well, I direct you may answer the question.
9 years ago, I arrested him and charged him with receiving stolen property. He was subsequently found guilty in this Crown Court and sentenced to 3 years' imprisonment. Upon his release, he went into business selling second-hand motor cars. He was engaged in that occupation at the time of his disappearance on the 5th of May last.
How did you first become aware of his disappearance?
A business partner of Butlin's, Rudolph Adams, phoned Fulchester Police Station. He had an appointment with Butlin at his home, Butlin's home, that is, at 5 p.m. When he hadn't appeared by 7 p.m., he became anxious. He felt sure something had happened to Butlin.
Did he give any specific reasons for that anxiety?
Well, the appointment he had with Butlin was a very important one. Adams insisted that his partner was not the kind of man to break such an appointment.
Did he give any other reasons?
Yes, he was carrying £5,000 on him in cash at the time. Adams felt his partner had been turned over.
Turned over, Chief Inspector?
Mugged. Robbed, my lord.
Ah.
What action, if any, did Fulchester Police take at that time?
Normal missing persons procedure, the circulation of Butlin's description to the Missing Persons Bureau, and we carried out independent inquiries simultaneously.
And based on those inquiries, what did you discover?
John Butlin left his car showrooms in Fulchester at 4:30 p.m. on the 5th of May. He told his secretary he was going to keep his appointment with Adams. He was driving his blue Citroën car. He was never seen alive again. He never arrived at his home in Fulchester, which is only 10 minutes' drive from his car showrooms. His blue Citroën car was found parked near his home on the morning of the 6th of May. On the 24th of May, a torso was found floating in the River Dee. On the 27th of May, that torso was identified as being part of the remains of John Butlin.
Thank you, Chief Inspector. Now, upon discovery of the torso on the 24th of May last, was a search made for the missing head and legs?
Indeed, an intensive search was made of the River Dee using launches and a frogman unit. And in light of information given to me by Dr. Sutherland, that search was extended to the Irish Sea.
But to date, the other remains have not been found.
No, sir, they have not. All available information indicates that they are in all probability at the bottom of the Irish Sea.
There's a question I should have asked the doctor, Chief Inspector, but you may be able to answer it. If all of the remains of John Butlin were dropped into the Irish Sea, why did this headless torso not sink along with the head and legs?
Expansion of gases within the chest, my lord. They did make the torso extremely buoyant.
I see. Thank you, Chief Inspector. Yeah.
Now, after the disappearance of Butlin and prior to the discovery of his headless torso in the River Dee, what other lines of investigation did you pursue?
Well, there were two main lines of inquiry. The first involved the missing money that was known to be on Butlin's person at the time of his disappearance, and the second involved all known associates and friends.
Well, let us deal with the money initially, please, Chief Inspector.
Butlin had withdrawn the money from his Fulchester bank account only 2 hours before his disappearance. It was all in £5 notes. His bank were able to furnish us with a serial number of just over £3,000 worth of those £5 notes. They were new notes, and the numbers ran consecutively. I authorised the publication of those numbers.
Were any of them subsequently traced?
Yes. A bank in North Street, Fulchester, advised us that a client of theirs had paid £800 in £5 notes into his bank account. The serial numbers of all those notes tallied with the notes paid to Butlin on the 5th of May last.
And who was the client who had paid £800 into his account, Chief Inspector?
The accused, sir, Philip Shepherd. He paid them into his account on the 8th of May last.
3 days after John Butlin vanished.
That is correct.
Now, you testified a short while ago that one of your lines of inquiry, prior to the discovery of the torso, concerned all the deceased's known associates and friends. Now, during the inquiries that were being made at that time, did you interview the accused?
No, my lord, our inquiries did not reveal any connection between the two men.
Uh-huh.
Thank you, my lord. Now, in view of Dr. Sutherland's post-mortem conclusions that the torso had been dropped from a plane into the sea, what action did you take?
A complete check on all persons in the Fulchester area having a private pilot's licence. We also made inquiries at all local aerodromes. Investigations revealed that the accused, Philip Shepherd, held a private pilot's licence. Further investigations revealed that he was a member of the Harden Flying Club and that on the 7th of May, he hired a 2-seater Cessna plane for a 2-hour flight. He hired the same plane for a 2-hour flight the following day.
And is this the same plane that Dr. Sutherland examined on the 29th of May last?
Yes, sir, it is.
One of the bloodstains, Mr. Edgar?
The same, my lord. And on the same day, did you ask Dr. Sutherland to carry out a forensic examination of Philip Shepherd's home?
Yes, I did. He found the following bloodstains.
Yes, thank you, Chief Inspector. I don't think we need the findings reiterated, do we, Mr. Edgar?
As your lordship pleases. Well, prior to that examination, had you taken the accused to Fulchester police station for questioning?
Yes, I had. I told him I was questioning him concerning the murder of John Butlin. He asked me if I was in charge of the case. When I told him that I was, he said he wanted to make a statement.
And you now produce that statement?
Yes, I do.
Exhibit 5, please. Who took it down?
I did.
Chief Inspector, will you please read out to the court the statement made by the accused after the caution?
On the 6th of May, I received a telephone call from a man. I knew this man as Johnny the Print. He asked me if I was interested in earning a quick £1,000, no questions asked. I agreed to see him at my home. He arrived about 5 in the evening with 2 other men. Johnny introduced them as Big Willie and Boise. Johnny told me they had some hot plates, counterfeit plates, that is, that they wanted dumping in the sea. The deal was £1,000 cash, no questions asked. I needed money badly at the time, and I agreed to do the job. 2 of them went for the parcels and dumped them in the living room. Boise produced a large roll of fivers and counted out £1,000 onto the coffee table. After they'd gone, I phoned Harden Flying Club and booked a plane for the following day. The next day, I found that I could not lift the big parcel on my own. I put the 2 smaller parcels into my car and drove to Harden Drome. The Cessna was waiting for me. I took it up and headed towards the Irish Sea. When I was well out to sea, I dumped them. The next day, I got an old piece of lino and rolled the big parcel onto it. I then dragged the lino with the bundle on it to the top of the stairs, then let it roll down to the bottom. This time, I drove the car right up to the plane. Somehow, I managed to get the big parcel into the plane passenger seat. I took off, heading out towards the sea, and opened the passenger door and tried to push the parcel out. It wouldn't budge. I banked the Cessna steeply. Suddenly, the parcel shot out and fell into the sea below. The door whipped shut. I circled and saw that unlike the 2 parcels on the previous day, this one was floating. There was nothing I could do about it. I have not seen any one of the 3 men since. I know nothing about the murder of John Butlin. He was known to be. Everybody in Fulchester knew John to nod to.
Thank you very much, Chief Inspector. And he then signed that statement?
Yes, he did. A short while later, I told him I was charging him with the murder of John Butlin. He said, "You are charging an innocent man." I then formally cautioned him and charged him with the murder of John Butlin. He made no reply.
Tell me, since that date, have you attempted to trace the 3 men referred to in Shepherd's statement?
Yes, I have. I can find no evidence whatsoever to substantiate the existence of these 3 men.
You have found no trace of them?
No, sir, I have not.
Thank you, Chief Inspector.
I have no questions to ask the Chief Inspector, my lord.
My lord?
Yes, Mr. Edgar?
Well, am I to understand that my learned friend does not wish to cross-examine the Chief Inspector, that he accepts without question all the evidence that has just been given?
It would appear so. Makes a refreshing change, don't you think so, Mr. Edgar?
Yes, but my lord...
My lord, if I may put my learned friend's mind at rest, the defense accepts without question the testimony of the Chief Inspector.
As there are no further questions, Chief Inspector, you may leave the witness box.
The jury in this case is composed of members of the general public. The Queen against Shepherd will be resumed tomorrow in the Crown Court. Philip Shepherd has been charged with the murder of John Butlin. As his trial enters its 2nd day, Rudolph Adams, the dead man's business partner, is giving evidence.
Partnership with John Butlin for just over 3 years, buying and selling second-hand cars.
And where was this business conducted from?
The car showroom's in Fulchester.
Was your relationship with the late Mr. Butlin purely business?
No, we'd been friends for about a year before I went into business with him. We remained friends.
Yes. Mr. Adams, would you please tell the court something of the structure of this second-hand car company that you owned with the deceased?
Well, basically, John bought the cars and I sold them. We employed a secretary, a number of car mechanics. That's about it.
Yeah, but the buying of the cars was left to Mr. Butlin.
That's right, yes.
Yeah. Whom did he buy from?
Well, we came by them in a variety of ways. Members of the public, other dealers, part exchange deals, you know.
Yes. When cars are bought by your company, how are they paid for? By cheque?
Sometimes cheque, yes, sometimes spot cash.
Cash, really? Is that not unusual in this day and age to carry out transactions of that nature with cash payments?
No, not in the motor trade, no. There are a number of reasons for cash transactions.
Well, would you please tell the court some of those reasons?
Well, a lot of people still don't have bank accounts. Others need cash in a hurry. John always had a philosophy about paying cash for a car.
What was that philosophy, Mr. Adams?
Well, he always used to say that by producing the readies, you could guarantee to knock 25 notes off the price of the motor.
Readies? What are readies?
Pound notes or actual cash, my lord. It is a popular euphemism.
Oh, really? I can't think why.
You were telling me about your partner's philosophy, Mr. Adams.
Yeah, he always said that the sight of the readies, always, the pound notes, my lord, always got the punters going, and seemed to work, too.
By punters, the witness means members of the public who want to sell their cars. Mr. Adams, I don't think we have any members of the motor trade amongst the jury. It might be useful if you bore that in mind when you're phrasing your replies to learned counsel's questions.
So it would not be unusual for John Butlin to be carrying on his person considerable amounts of money.
It would be unusual to find him without a large roll. I mean, a large roll of money, my lord.
I didn't think you meant a cheese roll, Mr. Adams.
On the 5th of May last, you telephoned Fulchester Police Station shortly after 7 p.m. to report your partner's disappearance.
That's right, yes. I'd arranged to meet him in his house at 5 o'clock. He didn't show up by 7, so I knew something was wrong.
Well, what made you think something was wrong?
Well, John Butlin was never late for an appointment, either business or pleasure, in the entire time I knew him. Took great pride in punctuality, said it was the mark of an efficient person. Apart from that, I happen to know he was carrying a large amount of money with him.
Larger than usual?
Oh, yeah.
Do you know how much?
Yes, over £5,000.
Do you know why he was carrying such a large amount of cash?
Yes, we had the chance to buy 5 motors from a car hire firm. They were having cash flow problems, and we were offered 5 of their car fleet at a knockdown price, cash.
Yes. So what was the purpose of your meeting with John Butlin on that day?
Well, we were going to discuss what our top and bottom offers on the deal would be. And the plan was that having agreed what we'd pay, John would then wind up the deal the same day.
Yeah, but he never arrived for the meeting.
No, he didn't. No, we'd arranged the meeting earlier that day when I was at the showroom. That was the last time I saw him alive.
Do you know if he had any enemies?
Yeah, business rivals. I mean, we both did. Who doesn't these days? Enemies? No. He was a good man. Very well liked. I don't know anybody who'd want him dead at all.
Prior to his arrest, was he accused known to you?
By reputation.
My lord, I submit my learned friend is beginning a line of questioning that is improper.
Improper? In what way, Mr. Canty?
On the witness's own admission, he has no direct knowledge of the accused. Therefore, any elaboration on his last answer would surely be hearsay, my lord. It would also seem that my client's character is about to be attacked.
Mr. Edgar?
My lord, I feel my learned friend is being somewhat previous. I was quite prepared for your lordship to rule on my next question prior to the witness answering.
With respect, my lord, by that time the damage might very well have been done.
Yes, I see. Mr. Edgar, I'm not, of course, ruling upon a question you have yet to ask, but I would remind you of the rules covering hearsay evidence and such other dangers.
Yes, my lord. Mr. Adams, do you know, or have you ever known of, a man called Johnny the Print?
No.
Do you know, or have you ever known of a man known as Boise?
No.
Do you know, or have you ever known of a man known as Big Willie?
No.
During the entire time that you knew the late John Butlin, some 4 years, I think you said, did you, during that time, ever hear your business partner refer to any of these 3 men?
No, never.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adams.
Did you know that your business partner had a prison record?
What's that got to do with this trial?
Mr. Adams, I will decide the pertinence of questions. Answer the question.
Yes, I did know he had a prison record.
You knew, did you not, that he had received a 3-year prison sentence for receiving stolen goods?
My lord, this is going to do the car business no good at all.
The purpose of this trial is not to enhance your business. We're here to establish whether Philip Shepherd murdered John Butlin.
Yes, I did know he'd been inside for receiving.
You know, I find your list of priorities revealing, Mr. Adams. More concerned with profit than establishing that this man murdered your business partner, your friend, the man you just referred to now, as a good man.
Well, he's dead. Well, I mean, I'm a realist. Life goes on for the rest of us.
It does indeed, Mr. Adams. Would you agree with me that you stand to benefit greatly from the death of John Butlin?
Don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I think you do, Mr. Adams. John Butlin left no heirs. The car business is now all yours, is it not?
I suppose it is.
There is no supposition about it, Mr. Adams. It is now registered as sole owner, Rudolph Adams. What was your turnover last year?
I don't know. I don't carry the figures about with me.
Oh, well, I do, Mr. Adams. Would you agree with me that your audited books for the last financial year showed a gross turnover of £157,000?
You say so, yeah?
I don't say so, Mr. Adams. Your books do, and you are now sole owner.
What are you suggesting?
Nothing, Mr. Adams. I'm merely wishing to establish some facts. That is all. Now, those 2 hours that you spent waiting for your partner on the day he vanished, where exactly did you wait for him?
I told you I waited at his home.
Who let you in?
I've got my own key to his house. He had one to mine.
So you let yourself in?
That's right.
Was anyone there?
No, he lives alone.
Did anyone call at the door or telephone during those 2 hours that you waited for your colleague?
No, they didn't. I made a number of calls out there.
No, did you? Who did you phone?
Our secretary at the showrooms, a couple of clubs. I also phoned several other car dealers. I was looking for John. I also phoned the car firm we were going to buy the cars from, see if he'd gone straight there, but he hadn't. At 7 o'clock, I phoned the police. I knew something was wrong. A man like John doesn't just vanish into thin air.
Now, we've had evidence in court that John Butlin was in good physical condition at the time of his death. Would you agree with that?
Certainly. He was tough as nails.
I mean, indeed, a man like John Butlin doesn't just vanish into thin air, does he? Unless somebody arranged it. I mean, those phone calls you made while you waited for your partner, no one phoned you back.
I've already told you, nobody phoned.
Didn't you give them any phone numbers so that they could contact you in case they saw your partner?
I don't think I did.
But surely, Mr. Adams, correct me if I'm wrong, but this was the situation, was it not? You had a meeting with your business partner at his home. Your partner is carrying a large amount of money. He does not arrive for the meeting. You become anxious, firstly, because you, better than anyone, know that John Butlin sets great store on punctuality. Secondly, you are concerned because of that large amount of money that he is carrying. You get anxious. You begin to phone around, trying to establish if any of your friends had seen Butlin. You phone quite a number of people. No one has any information. Are you seriously suggesting that, concerned as you were, you didn't leave any telephone number with any of these people so that they might contact you in the event of their seeing John Butlin?
Look, I was anxious about him. I didn't stop to think about that. I just kept phoning around.
Of course, by not giving a telephone number, Mr. Adams, those calls you made could have been made from anywhere, couldn't they?
What are you implying?
Mr. Adams, I am implying nothing, merely trying to establish some facts. Those calls you made could have been made from anywhere, couldn't they?
I suppose they could have been. What are you saying? I had my partner set up. I arranged for him to be murdered.
My lord, I feel I must object to this whole line of questioning. Mr. Adams is not on trial. Surely we've strayed far enough from the matter in hand.
My lord, I do not consider that we have strayed at all. I consider the movement of Butlin's business partner on the day that Butlin himself vanished of the utmost importance. After all, my lord, here we have one of the few people who knew that Butlin was carrying £5,000, who knew exactly what his movements would be at exactly the time that Butlin did in fact vanish. We have here in this dock a man who certainly stood to gain a great deal from the death of John Butlin. Now, I am not for one moment suggesting or imputing anything to the witness.
Then why are you following such a line of questions? You're trying to run with the hare and hunt with the hound.
On the contrary, I am demonstrating how easy it is to build a case against an innocent man, as you have done against him.
Gentlemen, this is a court of law, not a marketplace. I'll have an end to these histrionics. Mr. Edgar, I find nothing wrong with this line of questioning. You admitted freely in your opening address to the jury that your case against Shepherd rested almost entirely upon circumstantial evidence. I find it quite proper for Mr. Canty to demonstrate to the jury that such a case, based on circumstantial evidence, can pertain to others. Mr. Adams, for example. Now, let's get on with it.
Thank you, my lord. Mr. Adams, quite apart from yourself, who knew you were meeting John Butlin that afternoon?
Our secretary knew.
Anyone else?
I don't think so. I didn't tell anyone. John might have.
Apart from yourself, who knew that John Butlin was carrying £5,000?
They would have known at the bank. Our secretary knew.
Anyone else?
Well, dozens of people knew he always carried large amounts of money.
Yes, but not usually as much as £5,000,
No.
Mr. Adams. Now, you've told the court that apart from being your business partner, he was also your friend.
That's right.
Did you ever have any arguments with him?
What kind of arguments?
Oh, you know, of any kind, business arguments, for example?
We used to argue about things from time to time. I mean, you tell me anyone in business who doesn't.
What did you argue about?
Well, the way the business should be run. We used to disagree about that from time to time.
What was the nature of these disagreements?
Well, John's attitude was always a quick turnover, you see, quick profits. I mean, sometimes he'd tread on toes for quick profits. I told him it was a very short-sighted policy. We should build a business on a basis of goodwill, build up regular customers rather than one-offs.
So there was, from time to time, some friction between you?
Oh, nothing. We couldn't sort out man to man.
No, of course not. Man to man. Now, we have had evidence here that your partner was in good physical condition at the time of his death. Now, would you agree with that?
I've told you he was tough as nails.
Yes, a strong man.
Very, yes.
Courageous.
I never knew him to back down from anybody, and all the time I knew him.
Based on your personal knowledge of John Butlin, would you say that he would be an easy target for a would-be attacker?
Quite the reverse. Anybody that took him on would get a lot more than they bargained for.
Tell me, Mr. Adams, are you a very courageous man?
I don't know.
Just now, in answer to my learned friend's questions, you told the court that you had never heard of 3 particular men.
That's right, yes.
Now, let me test your courage this way, Mr. Adams. Suppose you are asked to help the police in identifying a gang of men whom you knew would not stop short at murder if they knew that you had given them away. Do you think you'd be very anxious to assist the police?
I have assisted the police.
Were you warned to keep quiet about these things because the men they were seeking might be violent?
I think some of my friends may have told me to be careful.
Did the police warn you, Mr. Adams?
Oh, I don't think so. Oh, it's difficult to remember who said what.
Ah, yes, I'm sure it is. Now, tell me, Mr. Adams, would you say that you knew all of your partner's friends and acquaintances?
Of course not. We had our private lives.
So it is possible, isn't it, that these 3 men, Johnny the Print, Big Willie, and Boise, might have been known to Butlin, but not to you?
Yes.
Is it equally possible that your partner, John Butlin, apart from conducting a perfectly legal business with yourself, such as selling second-hand cars, returned to the activity which had earned him a 3-year prison sentence?
What do you mean, being a fence?
Yes. I mean, it is possible, isn't it, that Butlin, without your knowledge, was the receiver of stolen property?
No.
But you have just told us that you did not know all his friends and acquaintances, that you both, to quote your own words, had your own private lives. Oh. Surely, part of his private life could have been spent receiving stolen property.
You put it like that, yes.
Thank you. No further questions.
Mr. Adams, did you at any time, in the 4 years that you knew the deceased, the 4 years in which you became not merely business partners but close friends, working with each other daily, in and out of each other's homes, did you at any time see the slightest indication that John Butlin was engaged in criminal activities?
No, I did not.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Does your lordship have any questions?
I think not, Mr. Edgar, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Adams. You may leave the witness box.
I call Miss Janet Morris.
I work in Johnson's hardware shop in Grant Road, Fulchester.
Is there anyone in the courtroom who is known to you?
No, I don't think so.
I didn't mean his lordship, Miss Morris. Please, look carefully around the courtroom.
Oh, Mr. Shepherd. He's one of our customers.
Thank you, Miss Morris. Now, you recall a particular incident that occurred in May that involved Mr. Shepherd?
Oh, I don't know.
Miss Morris, you have already made a statement to the police. My questions to you are based on that statement.
Oh, I see. Well, why didn't you say so, then? Yes, Mr. Shepherd came into the shop to have a large carving knife resharpened. Came in just before closing time one day. He was in a great hurry. Wouldn't leave the knife, said he wanted it done there and then.
And was it done there and then?
Oh, yes. He wouldn't wait for a proper edge to be put on it. Said he needed it in a hurry.
And what day did this take place?
On the 5th of May.
Miss Morris, you said that he came in just before closing time on the 5th of May. What time was your shop closed?
6 o'clock.
So, shortly before 6 on the 5th of May last, Mr. Shepherd came into your hardware store, had a large carving knife resharpened, and then left with the knife.
Yes, that's right. I remember because Dad was ever so upset about not having time to finish the job properly. But you see, Mr. Shepherd was in a tearing hurry.
Thank you, Miss Morris.
Miss Morris, I won't keep you long.
Oh, that's all right. Dad's given me time off to be here.
What? Oh, yes, of course. You describe Mr. Shepherd, Miss Morris, as one of our customers. Do you mean regular customers?
Yes, he's always popping in and out.
For what purpose?
Well, to buy things, of course. And to get his knife sharpened from time to time.
You appear to recall this particular occasion very clearly.
Well, yes, because he wouldn't wait for a proper edge to be put on the knife.
Do you recall his appearance?
He looked like he always does.
No bruises on his face, no blood on his clothes.
Had he been in a fight, then?
Miss Morris, I'm afraid you're not allowed to ask questions.
Seems a bit unfair. Everybody else is.
Were there any bruises on his face, Miss Morris? Was there any blood on his clothes?
No.
Thank you. No further questions, my lord.
Does your lordship have any questions?
No, I think not. Thank you, Miss Morris. May we leave the witness box?
Is that all?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Mrs. Pritchard, how long have you been employed by the defendant as a daily help?
5 years.
And what hours do you work for him?
10 in the morning until 12 every day, except Saturdays and Sundays. And I go back at 5 and prepare an evening meal for him. I usually leave about 6.
Were you at the home of Philip Shepherd on the 6th of May between 5 and 6 in the evening?
Yes, I was.
Did 3 men call to see Shepherd while you were there?
Not that I remember.
Well, would you have remembered if 3 men did in fact call at that time?
Oh, yes, I'm sure I would have done. Mr. Shepherd doesn't have many visitors when I'm there, and if 3 men all came together, well, yes, I'm sure I'd have remembered it.
Yes. Have you ever heard of 3 men called Johnny the Print, Big Willie, or Boise?
No, I haven't.
Shepherd never referred to these men or said that he knew them?
No, he didn't.
Right. Now, can you recall any unusual events that took place at Mr. Shepherd's home during early May?
Well, yes. These things happened during the first week of May, but I can't tell you the exact dates.
That's quite all right. Go on, please, Mrs. Pritchard.
Well, there was the business of the living room for a start. I mean, he wouldn't let me clean in there for several days.
Why not?
He said he had a lot of antique silver spread out on the carpet that he was cleaning. He deals in antiques, you know.
Yes, I know.
Yes, well, he said he didn't want the stuff disturbed while he was working on it, and he just kept the door locked for several days.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Yes, when I was finally allowed back in the room to clean it, the carpet was missing. The felt was still on the floor, but the carpet had been taken up and removed.
And did you ask him why?
Yes, I did. He said that he'd spilt some of the cleaning fluid he was using for the silver onto the carpet, and it was badly stained. He said he'd taken the carpet away for cleaning and dyeing.
Did the carpet eventually come back?
Yes, it did, about 3 weeks later. Oh, he'd had it dyed all right, a revolting shade of red.
Of red. I see. Were there any other unusual events during this period?
Yes, he gave me a cash bonus of £50. Well, he said he was very pleased with the work, but, I mean, he'd never done that before. He's very careful with money, is Mr. Shepherd.
Yes. This cash bonus, was the money paid to you in £5 notes?
Yes, it was. I spent it in Mallorca during my summer holidays.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Pritchard.
Mrs. Pritchard, you told learned friend that you cannot recall 3 men coming to see Mr. Shepherd on the 6th of May last.
That's correct.
Can you recall 1 man calling on the defendant on the previous day, that is on the 5th of May?
I don't know. Nobody's asked me about 1 man before.
No, I didn't think they had, Mrs. Pritchard, so let me help you, if I may. The man I have in mind is in his mid-40s. He is well-built, weighing some 14.5 stone, his height is 6 feet. His name is John Butlin.
Oh, I knew Mr. Butlin. My husband bought a car from him about 2 years ago. I never saw him at Mr. Shepherd's home.
Now, on that same day, that is the 5th of May, you were at the defendant's home from 5 to 6 in the evening?
That's when I prepare his evening meal.
Precisely. On that day, the 5th of May, do you recall any noises coming from the living room? Sounds of fighting, sounds of 2 men locked in mortal combat?
Oh, no, I mean...
Sounds of someone, for instance, being stabbed 3 times, Mrs. Pritchard?
Well, no, of course not. I mean, if I had, I would have phoned for the police at once.
Do you recall on that same day any sounds of sawing emitting from the living room, or of objects being cut up?
No, I didn't.
Now, the 3 men that my learned friend questioned you about, could they have arrived before you on the 6th of May? I mean, could they have been in the living room while you were in the rest of the flat?
I doubt it. I'd have heard them.
But you can't swear, can you, Mrs. Pritchard, that they were not already there when you arrived, inside that locked living room door?
Oh, no, of course I can't.
Thank you. No further questions.
Apart from not seeing these 3 men on the 6th of May, you did not hear them?
No, I didn't.
And I don't just mean the sound of talking in the living room. I mean the noise of entering and leaving 2 or 3 times. 2 or 3 of them coming and going several times, returning laden with heavy parcels, dumping these parcels on the living room floor. Did you hear any of that?
No, and I'm sure I would have done.
Thank you, Mrs. Pritchard. My lord?
Thank you, Mr. Adair, yes. Mrs. Pritchard, are you absolutely certain that on both of the evenings you've been questioned about by learned counsel, that is the 5th of May and the 6th of May, you were at the defendant's home between the hours of 5 p.m. and 6 p.m.?
Yes, my lord. I've checked my diary because I keep a note of the hours I've worked for Mr. Shepherd in it, and I was there on both days.
Yes. Thank you very much, Mrs. Pritchard. You may leave the witness box.
I call Marie Shepherd.
Marie Shepherd.
What religion are you? Take the book in your right hand, read the words on the card.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
What is your full name?
Marie Shepherd.
Are you related to the accused?
Yes, he's my father.
What is your occupation, Miss Shepherd?
The jury in this case is composed of members of the general public. The Queen against Shepherd will be concluded tomorrow in the Crown Court. Philip Shepherd has been charged with the murder of John Butlin. His daughter has just been called to give evidence for the prosecution.
Related to the accused?
Yes, he's my father.
What is your occupation, Miss Shepherd?
I'm taking a law degree at Fulchester University. I'm in my 2nd year.
I understand you live in the ground floor maisonette directly beneath your father.
That's right. My lord, I wish to make it clear that I'm giving evidence for the prosecution against my wishes. I've no desire to testify against my father.
I think that is understood, Miss Shepherd.
I'd like to ask you some questions about your movements in the first week of May.
I understand. My lord, I know that as I'm not an expert witness, I shouldn't refer to notes, but I wonder if I might refer to my study schedule to ensure my answers are entirely accurate.
I don't say why not, Miss Shepherd. Any objections to that, Mr. Canty?
No, my lord.
Now then, Miss Shepherd, the 5th of May last, what were you doing that afternoon?
Researching at Fulchester Public Library in the afternoon, then revision work at home in the evening.
Have you any idea what time you returned to your flat?
It would be about 6 p.m.
Yes. Did you see your father that evening?
Yes, I saw him in the hall. He was a bit breathless. He'd been rushing to get to the shops before they shut. He said he had some work to do and would be busy for the rest of the evening.
Did you hear any unusual sounds coming from his flat that evening?
No, just ordinary everyday noises. Dad moving about, having a bath or shower.
Do you recall any toing and froing upstairs between 5 and 7 on the evening of the 6th of May?
No.
Very well, then. Now the 7th of May, Miss Shepherd.
I was at university all that day. Well, I didn't return home till about 9 in the evening.
Yes. And the following day, the 8th of May?
I was in and out all that day. That was the day I thought Dad had fallen down the stairs.
Oh, really? Why do you think that?
Oh, I was at home reading in the early afternoon. Well, I heard this tremendous bumping on the stairs. I thought Dad had fallen over. I rushed out, but he was all right. He said he was just taking some rubbish to dump.
Please, go on, Miss Shepherd. Miss Shepherd, you were telling the court your father said he was taking some rubbish to dump. What kind of rubbish?
He had a large bundle. I offered to give him a hand, but he said he could manage. I went back indoors.
Taking some rubbish to dump?
That's right.
Yes. And finally, Miss Shepherd, do you know, or have you ever heard your father refer to 3 men known as Johnny the Print, Big Willie, or Boise?
I've never heard of them. But there are lots of people who exist who I've never heard of.
Oh, yes, quite so. Thank you, Miss Shepherd.
Miss Shepherd, during the period of time that my learned friend has been questioning you about, apart from the events you have described, did you ever hear anything else or see anything else involving your father?
No.
No sounds of fighting from the flat above?
Fighting?
No sounds of a body being sawn up or being cut up?
You are talking about my father, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
My father's the least violent man I've ever met. Throughout my entire childhood, he never hit me once. I've never seen him lose his temper. To me, he's a very gentle man.
Thank you, Shepherd. No further questions?
Does your lordship have any questions?
No, I think not, thank you, Mr. Edgar.
Then that, my lord, is the case for the Crown.
I call Philip Shepherd.
Yes, I deal in antiques.
How long have you been engaged in that line of business?
Oh, more years than I care to remember. Most of my life, in fact.
Do you find it a very lucrative profession?
It fluctuates. You can have lean periods and then very good ones.
Now, Mr. Shepherd, upon your instructions, I took no issue with the evidence of the Chief Inspector. That was because you accepted that his testimony, particularly that part giving your statement, was entirely accurate.
No, that is not the reason I instructed you accordingly.
Really? Then what was the reason, Mr. Shepherd?
Well, having heard that statement read out at the committal proceedings, I realized that it was absolutely pointless for me to contest any part of it. I felt it would only prejudice my case in front of a jury.
Mr. Shepherd, do I understand you correctly? Are you saying the Chief Inspector Rutherford's evidence was wrong? That he was in error?
Yes, my lord.
Well, you can't have it both ways. The time to challenge Chief Inspector Rutherford's evidence was when he was in the witness box. To do so now would be improper. Most improper.
Yes, I appreciate that, my lord, but my counsel asked me my reasons. I'm on oath. I'm therefore telling the truth.
I see. Mr. Canty, I must warn you to steer a very fine course.
Of course, my lord. I realize I am in certain difficulties, but without wishing to retrospectively challenge Chief Superintendent, I do feel that I must question my client as to the background to this position he has chosen to take.
You're embarking on a very dangerous course.
My lord, perhaps the jury should be excused during this discussion.
It may well come to that. We shall see. Carry on, Mr. Canty.
Thank you, my lord. Was the Chief Inspector known to you prior to your arrest?
Yes, he was. I was visited at my antique shop by him, or his men, continually, over a period of years.
Why did they visit you, these policemen?
Ostensibly to give me current lifts of stolen valuables that might be offered to me.
You say ostensibly. Was there any other reason?
They'd ask me questions about this robbery, about that break-in. Did I know who was responsible? Had I any idea where the stuff might be?
Surely these would be routine questions. I mean, a man in the antique business ought to be used to that sort of thing.
There are many ways of asking questions. I'm sure you know that.
I feel we have the drift of this now, Mr. Canty.
Yes.
Might I suggest that you explore other avenues?
Very well, my lord. How well did you know the deceased, John Butlin?
Well, not very well. As I said in my statement, I knew him to nod to, and a couple of times we'd had drinks together in nightclubs.
Apart from that, you had no other contact with the dead man?
None at all.
Now, in your statement to the police, Mr. Shepherd, you said that the man, Johnny the Print, was known to you. Is that correct?
Yes, I've met him a couple of times in Liverpool in nightclubs. We got on well together. He sold me some silver on one occasion.
Now, when he phoned you on the 6th of May and asked if you would be willing to earn a quick £1,000, were you surprised?
Well, not really. He made it clear on the phone it was because I flew.
I mean, did you realize at the time that the job might involve some element of criminality?
Oh, yes. People don't offer you £1,000 cash, no questions asked, for a straight job.
Despite that fact, you were prepared to consider it?
Yes, I was. I was very short of cash at the time.
Now, the details recorded in your statement about how the men came to your house, are they accurate?
Yes, they are. It's all accurate as far as it goes.
I see. What you are objecting to are omissions?
Yes.
Perhaps I can help my learned friend, my lord. When I cross-examine the witness, I'm prepared to question him about these omissions, and in the light of his answers, it might be that Chief Inspector Rutherford should be recalled to the witness box.
Mr. Canty?
My lord, I am obliged to my learned friend. Thank you. Thank you, my lord. So, these three men came to your house at about 5 o'clock on the 6th of May, and for £1,000, you agreed to drop 3 parcels into the Irish Sea.
That's correct. Johnny told me there were counterfeit plates that needed to be lost fast.
Now, the account you gave in that statement read out by the Chief Inspector of how you disposed of what you thought were counterfeit plates. Do you accept that?
Yes, it is entirely accurate.
Now, we've heard evidence that on the day that Butlin disappeared, you had a knife, a carving knife, sharpened. Why did you have that knife sharpened?
I bought a job lot of antique Victorian boxes earlier in the day. When I got back to the flat, I discovered in one of them a quantity of junk jewellery, dress items, that sort of thing. Among the jewellery was a Georgian diamond earring. Just the one was relatively worthless, but the pair could have been worth a great deal of money, perhaps £30,000. That particular box had a false bottom. I could hear something rattling around inside. I thought it would be the other earring, but I couldn't get the bottom out. My knife edge was too thick. That is why I needed a knife with a fine edge, to prise that bottom out.
And did you discover the matching earring?
I'm afraid not, my lord. There was just a worthless brooch inside.
When did you realize that the 3 parcels you had agreed to drop did not, in fact, contain counterfeit plates?
When I tried to move the big one, I saw there was blood on the carpet.
Now, what did you then think they contained?
I didn't think. I didn't want to think. I just wanted to get that damn parcel out of my home. It was pointless going to the police. I've already told you how anxious they were to nail something onto me. Imagine going to see Chief Inspector Rutherford. Oh, by the way, Chief Inspector, I thought you might like to know there's a parcel in the middle of my living room oozing blood onto the carpet. I don't know what's inside or how it got there, but I'm sure you'd be interested. That was a lovely catch-22.
What do you mean?
I mean that I was caught either way I moved. If I went to the police, they'd probably charge me with a very serious crime. If they didn't charge me, went looking for the 3 men, the odds are the 3 men would find me before the police found them. I mean, I'd be the next parcel dumped into the Irish Sea. My only hope was to get that parcel out of my home, onto a plane, and into the Irish Sea. That's what I did.
Did you kill John Butlin?
No, I didn't.
Did you cut his body up?
No, I did not.
No further questions.
You admit, though, do you not, that you took the dismembered pieces of John Butlin's body and dropped them from a plane into the Irish Sea?
I know that now, but at the time I thought they were counterfeit plates.
And you did this for money?
Yes.
For £1,000?
Yes.
You would have the court believe you thought you were dropping counterfeit plates into the sea?
That's what they told me the parcels contained.
So, by your own admission, you were engaged upon a criminal enterprise?
Yes, but not murder. I wouldn't have anything to do with that.
Wouldn't you, Shepherd? But you did. Counterfeit plates don't drip blood onto carpets, do they?
No.
No. Then why not go to the police? Why not tell them you had been horribly compromised by these 3 men?
I've already told you my reasons for not going to the police.
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. This tale of a vendetta between yourself and Fulchester Police in general and... the Chief Inspector in particular. Tell me, about your statement, Shepherd, what is your complaint about it? What are these omissions that you mention?
At the time I made that statement to the Chief Inspector, I gave him a detailed description of the three men. There's nothing of that in my statement.
Indeed, there isn't. Why do you think that is?
They didn't want to waste time looking for three men when they had me in Fulchester Police Station. Bird in hand's worth 2 or 3 in the bush.
So you believe the Chief Inspector deliberately suppressed this information?
I know he did.
We shall see. On the 5th of May last, John Butlin vanished from the face of the earth sometime after 4:30 p.m., and less than 1 hour and a half later, you rush into a hardware store in Fulchester to get a large carving knife resharpened. You're in such a hurry, you won't even wait for a proper edge to be put on the knife. I put it to you that your need for a sharp carving knife was to cut up the body of John Butlin.
You're wrong.
I put it to you that between 4:30 and 6 p.m. you had killed Butlin in your flat.
That's not true.
And that having killed him, you were faced with an apparently insurmountable problem. With all due respect, Mr. Shepherd, you're not a very big man, are you?
No.
Average strength?
I think so.
I'm sure you couldn't lift and carry out of your flat the dead Butlin, a man weighing some 14.5 stone, some 6 feet tall.
You're talking pure fantasy.
Am I, Shepherd? But it's no fantasy that you couldn't lift the headless torso out of your flat, is it? It was only with the greatest difficulty that you managed to drag it to the top of the stairs and then let it bump its way down to the bottom. Now, that's no fantasy, is it? No. And when the noise of that torso bumping downstairs disturbed your daughter, you told her you were just taking some rubbish to dump. Is that how you value human life, Shepherd? Some rubbish to dump?
I didn't want Marie to get involved.
On 2 separate occasions, you took parts of Butlin's body up into a plane, flew out over the Irish Sea, and dropped them into the water. Now, that is correct, is it not?
Yeah, but I said I thought I was dumping counterfeit plates.
You were prepared to put your own life at very real risk for £1,000 to dump counterfeit plates for forgers. You were prepared to risk your life for a trifle?
I wasn't risking my life.
Oh, but you were. The plane that you flew was a single-engined Cessna 150, was it not?
Yes, it was.
Well, if that single engine should fail, your life would be in very great danger over an open sea. And you put your life in that danger, didn't you?
Oh, I never thought of it.
Oh, come along now, please. You're an experienced flyer. Surely you wouldn't put your life into very real jeopardy just for £1,000.
Well, I did.
Did you? I suggest you only took that risk in a bid to get away with murder. That the only way you could get the dead body out of your flat was by cutting it up, and then only with the very greatest difficulty. And why? Why was the door to your living room locked for a number of days early in May?
Oh, I didn't want Mrs. Pritchard poking around while the parcels were in there.
I put it to you that you didn't want Mrs. Pritchard or your daughter or anyone else walking in on you while you were cutting up the body of John Butlin. I further put it to you that these 3 men, Johnny the Print, Big Willie and Boise, are a fabrication, figments of your fertile imagination, that they do not exist outside your own mind. Well, what do we know of these 3 men? Nothing, except what you have told us about them. Nobody saw them enter your flat, no one saw them leave. No one apart from you has ever seen them.
What do you know of such men? What could you know about such men? You're cocooned in your upper middle class life. Prep school, public school, university, read for the bar. You've moved from one ivory tower to another. There's another world out there. In London, you can get a man to kill for £500. You can buy a gun for 50 in Liverpool. You can arrange for a man to slash another man's face in Glasgow with a razor for £25. There are nightclubs in Birmingham where you get a glass in your face for just looking at another man's wife. Yes, just looking. Those 3 men exist, all right. And dozens like them. You ask the police. Ask the casualty doctors in every bigger hospital. Ask the governor of any prison. You live a privileged life, Mr. Edgar. I've sat here and listened to you for the last 3 days, playing games with the truth.
Mr. Shepherd, you must not take it all so personally.
My Lord, I do take it personally. My freedom is a very personal matter. You see, I can't win. If I'm convicted, I face a life in prison. If I'm acquitted, then sooner or later those 3 men will come looking for me, or they'll send somebody else. You see, no one's allowed to grasp, to inform. That may not be the law in this courtroom. In this courtroom. But it's the law where those three come from.
How well did you really know John Butlin?
I've told you. I knew him to nod to on the street, and a couple of times we had a drink together.
Well, what did you discuss over those drinks?
What do you mean? What did we discuss?
Well, did you discuss current events in Portugal, for example?
We talked about his car business and the antique game. That sort of thing.
When Mr. Adams was giving evidence, my learned friend was at pains to discover if John Butlin was at the time of his death engaged in any criminal activity, receiving stolen property, for example. Maybe you can assist him in that area. Did you know if the deceased had served a prison sentence for receiving?
Yes, of course. Lots of people knew.
Do you know if Butlin engaged in such activities after he'd been released from prison?
No, I don't know. That was his affair, not mine.
Yeah. Did you know he was in the habit of carrying large sums of money around with him?
Yes, of course. Anyone with the slightest connection with John Butlin knew that.
And you knew that, did you? You knew he carried around large sums of money.
Well, that's what I've said.
Yes. And at the time of Butlin's death, you were... Now, just let me see. How did you phrase it? In view of the fact that I needed money badly, at that time I agreed to do the job. And that, of course, if we are to believe you, was the job of dumping the remains of John Butlin into the Irish Sea. That is right, is it not?
Yes.
For £1,000.
Yes.
Yes, £1,000 cash, money that had come from the dead man's pocket.
But I didn't know that at the time.
What you didn't know at the time was that there was a record of the numbers of over £3,000 worth of those notes. You didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't.
No. Now, these three men that you tell us exist, why should they contact you?
Johnny the Print knew I flew planes. He said a couple of times that he could probably put work my way.
Did he indicate what kind of work?
No, he didn't. That first time I'd worked for him.
Disposal of a man's body for £1,000. I put it to you, Shepherd, that a man who will dispose of a body for £1,000 will kill for 5,000.
You can put to me what you like. I don't know about your ethics, but I wouldn't kill for 20 times that amount.
But you did dispose of the body for £1,000.
I've told you I thought I was dumping counterfeit plates.
Oh, but you knew, did you not, before any part of that body had left your flat, that in fact it was a body and not counterfeit plates?
I told you I didn't want to think. When I saw that blood coming out, I realized I was dealing with violent, dangerous men. I was trapped. I just wanted to get that stuff out of my home and away from my life as fast as possible. When I saw that blood, I had the fear of Christ in me.
So you lied to your daily help. You lied to your own daughter.
Yes, I did.
Yes. You're not a very honest man, are you?
That's what I mean about you. Playing with truth. You show me one man or woman in this courtroom who can get into this witness box and swear, under oath, that they've never told a lie. You just show me one. Are you so goddamn pure? It's so easy to point a finger, isn't it?
But you're doing the pointing, Mr. Shepherd.
Mr. Shepherd, I must ask you to control yourself.
My lord, I'm on trial for a murder I did not commit, and you ask me to control myself. With all respect, my lord, for me, this is no game. I can't go home this evening and get the port out with my wife and discuss what a fascinating day I've had in court. I've been obliged to watch while my daughter was called for the prosecution, presumably to give evidence against me, though God knows what they hope to get from her. This courtroom should be a place where truth is sought for. Surely the function of the court are to protect society against the criminal. Am I not a member of society?
Indeed you are, Mr. Shepherd. And we are here to decide whether you are also a criminal. I must ask you again to contain yourself to answering questions put to you by learned counsel.
I'm obliged, Your Lordship. Shepherd, after you had disposed of the remains of John Butlin, you attempted to conceal your deed, did you not?
Yes.
You had your blood-stained carpet cleaned.
Yes.
You attempted to remove the bloodstains from the floorboard.
Yes, I did.
Those were hardly the actions of an innocent man, were they?
That's for the jury to decide.
I put it to you that on the afternoon of the 5th of May last, you murdered John Butlin in your living room by stabbing him to death. I put it to you that you then dismembered his body, parcelled up the pieces, and subsequently dropped them from your plane into the Irish Sea.
And I put it to you, you know as well as I do, there's not one vestige of truth in those accusations.
No more questions, my lord.
My lord, I do not wish to re-examine. That is the case for the defense.
I do not recall that at any time Shepherd gave more than the sketchiest description of these three men.
Was he given the opportunity to look through what I believe you call your rogues gallery, photographs of known criminals?
Yes, he was. He looked at a number of books. He failed to identify anyone.
Thank you, Chief Inspector.
Chief Inspector, you say that he offered you only the sketchiest of descriptions of the three men.
That is correct.
Well, I put it to you, Inspector, that he gave you the following descriptions. Firstly, Johnny the Print, Liverpudlian, age about 50, height about 6 foot 2 inches, well-built, red hair. Secondly, Big Willie, Scotsman, probably from Glasgow, age about 35, bald, 2 front teeth missing. Thirdly, Boise, slim-build, cockney, black hair, age about 25, wore glasses. I put it to you, Inspector, that he gave you these descriptions.
Absolutely not.
You say he was shown books of mug shots. How many of these books was he shown?
About 6.
About 6? Would I be right in saying, Inspector, that you have at your disposal several hundred of these books of photographs or mug shots or whatever you care to call them?
Yes, you would.
Indeed, there is no direct proof that the living Butlin was ever in Shepherd's flat. But undoubtedly the dead body of that man was in Shepherd's flat. And equally, it is beyond issue that Shepherd disposed of that body. Now, he has sworn that he did not know that it was Butlin's body. He has told us of his agreement with these three men to dispose of counterfeit plates. You will consider that testimony very carefully. He has given a simple explanation of his need for a sharpened carving knife on the day that Butlin vanished. The prosecution have suggested a much more sinister reason, that sharpened carving knife. Now, if you consider Shepherd's story of these three men to be a tissue of lies, that will go a long way towards establishing his guilt. If, on the other hand, you believe his account, you must acquit him.
Members of the jury, will your foreman please stand? Now just answer this question, yes or no. Have you reached a verdict on which you're all agreed?
Yes.
And do you find the defendant, Philip Shepherd, guilty or not guilty on the charge of murder?
Not guilty.
I told you I was innocent.
It's academic, Shepherd. They'll charge you with being an accessory after the fact to murder. You'll probably get 10 years.
You can join another jury when our cameras return to bring you a further case in the Crown Court.